Hello squadrons, how are you doing? Welcome back to our YouTube channel. My name is Doreen, and today we'll be reading an article from GB News, so buckle up and come along for the ride. Let's just dive into it. We will make comments as we continue, because sometimes you see some headings and you're like, what? Where did this come from? So the title of the article is Harry and Meghan have nowhere to go in USA. They are fighting war against themselves. And I'm like, what? What is this? What is going on? Did something happen at night? Something that I didn't know about? What war? They have a home? What is going on? Anyway, let's see. I think essentially it's the law of diminishing returns for Harry and Meghan, said Cunningham. That's a quote. Let's just dive into it. A snap against the successes has sparked renewed discussion about the couple's place within the royal family and what they are hoping to achieve in the long term. And I'm like, you know what? These guys are related to the royal family by blood. And newsflash, they left the royal family. They're out here making a life for themselves. So no, they're not looking for anything from the royal family. Get that into your thick skulls or something, because why are we having this discussion again? Why are you guys asking this question again? You know the answer to that. They left their duties and they decided to start their whole new lives. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were left off the invite list for the Duke of Westminster's wedding, set to be held in Chester in June of next year. If this is about that, well, newsflash, they are not the bad guys. It's not them. It's the other side that, for lack of a better word, that is discriminating them. You know what? That's what is happening. I'm continuing. The news comes despite Harry's close relationship with the Duke, who is godfather to Prince Archie and Prince George, and has acted as their mentor at times. According to the Mail on Sunday, the Duke made the decision in order to avoid awkwardness, as the relationship between the successors and the royal family continues to show strain, with little sign either side will sue for peace. And I'm like, I won't stop judging this guy, because I'm like, you didn't have the rights to decide. You could have said it's either all of you come or neither of you comes, but either way you had to go forward and decide, you know what, I will choose this side over this other side. For what reasons, we can speculate, but we don't know for sure. People are human beings out there. So sometimes you're like, we can speculate, we can see what you're trying to do, but that's clearly wrong. I don't think he could have, I don't think choosing one side over the other was the right move. He could have invited them, put them in separate tents. Who doesn't know in this world that those people clearly don't agree? It's not like we are expecting them to see each other and pretend to be all right and give each other's hugs. Plus, if considering that Prince Harry made the Duke the godfather to Archie, it means that the Duke really means a lot to Prince Harry. So I believe the least the Duke could have done is invite Harry and Meghan to their wedding, because it's weddings are just a day to bring families together, a day for the people closest to you to actually celebrate you and your partner. But we clearly see you don't hold Harry in as much high regards as he holds you, because that's the only message I'm reading from this. It's incredibly sad that it has come to this, a friend of William and Harry's told the Sunday Times. Hugh is one of the very few close friends of William and Harry who has maintained strong bonds and a line of communication with both. He wishes they could put their heads together and patch things up, but realizes it's unlikely to happen before the wedding. He wanted to avoid anything overshadowing the day, especially for Olivia, and doesn't want any awkwardness. Former comms advisor at number 10, Gils joined Camilla Tomini to discuss the successes placed within the royal family. Okay, I get Hugh's wishes, I get what he wants, and it's like that. He's a friend, obviously he will want them at peace, but at the same time, I don't think it was right for him to choose one side over the other. If he really cares for them as much as he says, this will only continue to create a rift between the two, So, yeah. For Malcolm, Camilla began the conversation saying, so the Duke of Westminster, Hugh Grosvenor, who's a very good of both William and Harry, he's getting married in Chester in the summer. Continuing, it's the society's wedding, not just of the year but the century, because obviously the Duke of Westminster's one of the country's richest men, and he's decided that he'll invite William but not Harry. I mean, how do you think this whole scandal, if you like, is played out for both the royals and indeed the success Gils? Kenham replied, I mean, it almost feels like for Harry and Meghan, they are fighting a war against themselves because the royal family aren't really reacting to a lot of things. I think essentially it's the law of diminishing returns for Harry and Meghan. They can have a go once on this. If they keep having a go, I think people are going to stop listening. Interestingly, you don't think they poll very well in the UK. So from a PR perspective, can they come back here, and where do they go in the US? Before we read the answer to that question, I'm like, how again are you guys saying Harry and Meghan are the bad guys in this situation? Clearly, they are the ones who have been treated wrongly, and they are being punished because someone wrote a book about the royal family. They didn't write. They are the ones who the book was written up. They didn't write the book. Someone else wrote the book. And let's say, quote unquote, probably Omid is a fan of Harry and Meghan. It's not their fault, It's like me here. I love Harry and Meghan. Is it their fault that I love them? Is it their fault that I'm always here, cheering for them to keep going? It's not their fault. It's, what, they cannot help but be themselves. And when you're your authentic self, people are going to fight battles for you outside here. And now what is happening is that they are being punished for people loving them. The royal family is literally discriminating them simply because someone has loved them. What is that? Are you guys mad? Are you guys jealous? Don't you guys want Harry and Meghan to be loved? All you want is for them to be trolled, wrong information to be supplied out here about them so that you can invite them to your parties. When their star is shining, you don't want them. You want them when their star is really dull, so that when they are put next to, Prince William and Kate Middleton, they are really dull and sad and quote unquote pathetic. Is that what you want? Well, newsflash, that's not gonna happen, because those two people are literally the most authentic people we know, and their star is always gonna be shining. So if you're waiting for a day that their star will be dull so that you can invite them to your events, well, you're gonna wait a long time, and that's never gonna happen. So you might as well never invest them. Because if that's what you're waiting for, or accept that these guys are just shining stars, and they will always shine, and accept them for who they are, not trying to diminish them, because you cannot, and yes, you cannot diminish them. You cannot diminish their power. You cannot diminish, the influence that they have, outside here. So yeah, if you're waiting for them to be powerless, for them to come crawling back to you, trust me, that's not gonna happen, So the answer to the question that has been asked anyway, let me just read the question again. Interestingly, you don't think they poll very well in the UK, so from a PR perspective, can they come back here? And where do they go in the US? They have been dumped by Spotify over that deal, so you sort of see these kind of move to try and become relevant. And the way they have become relevant, it's becoming shriller and shriller and shriller. I don't think it works. And I'm like, why? You're just bashing them over one deal? Guys, I think you should check how many deals they have on the table. And we know sometimes partnerships don't work. Sometimes what you had planned that just doesn't work. I don't know why you guys don't look at things from that perspective, And I think you should look at it from that perspective, that sometimes deals don't work, sometimes partnerships break, and you have to move forward. You can't stay there crying all the time. But that doesn't mean that they're not gonna get other deals. So Camilla came back in. Also, I'm wondering whether they have got anything left to say now. The so-called alleged royal racist who questioned Archie's skin tone, or a future baby's skin tone, have been outed as the king and the princess of Wales. And yet, at the same time, most people don't think that it was racist to suggest it in the first place. Well, we know who doesn't think that, and we keep saying it's not racist, but such conversations could turn into, could birth something racist, something racist, because that's the way things start. They start small, a spark, then suddenly it's a whole flame that burned a whole building, and the only people that don't want to see this as a beginning of something worse, are the people that think the same way. And instead of trying to have this conversation and trying to think differently, they're just out here screaming, oh, it wasn't a racist comment, they were just having a conversation. Guys, open your eyes. But secondly, it takes a sting out of any book that Meghan was planning to write, or any further revelations. I'm kind of looking at them thinking, what more do you have to say? Keeping his thoughts brief, Kenningham replied, yeah, they're just looking very bitter instead of actually just standing back and moving on with their lives. And I'm just going to say, first of all, they didn't write the book. Secondly, I'm looking forward to what more they have to say, what more they have to offer, because I do believe this is it. And if something that Omid's book has done is like now put everything behind, because I do believe after this, everything is out. Now Harry and Meghan will move forward, without having any more baggages left, Like now I do believe if there's something that Omid's book has done is that it has now, literally released all the burdens from their shoulders, and they can now move in front. And no, Harry and Meghan are not bitter. They are very happy, and they're out here figuring out their lives. And I really can't wait. And I do believe that the future holds really great and amazing things for this couple, for this family. Yes, and we will be here, of course, cheering for them to keep going. Anyway, until the next episode, bye bye, and let's keep loving Harry and Meghan. Bye bye.